Hey guys, it's time for another live stream, and we have company today. You don't have to listen just to me. Let's get the show started. Hopefully I'll hit the right button. I want to thank Rogers Refood for being a sponsor of this channel. Their food is the kind of stuff your fish can go to eat at a certain spot, like going to a restaurant. They don't have to go chase it down and hope it doesn't elude them going down the drain. Nope, it's sitting right there in one spot where they can chew on it like steak. I want to encourage you to be a subscriber to Coral Magazine because Coral Magazine is awesome. It is the last standing saltwater-only aquarium magazine in the United States, and you're looking at the 13 issues that I built for the last 2+ years. I offer one-on-one consultation. If you need help with your aquarium, we do a video chat. I talk to you for an hour. It costs you $125. If you need to reach out to me, just email me at sales@milasreef.com. Put consultation in the subject line. That'll help a lot. So here I am, guys. We are starting a new show, and this one here, I actually have a guest. Let's see if this works. Oh, it does work. It's Terence Fugazzi. So Terence is here from California. And you may not know who this guy is. He's been, under the radar now for a couple of years. But in the past, he was really famous for being at Neptune Systems. And then he probably signed an NDA or something, disappeared. And then then he got involved in some other things in California. He was super busy with that. And then he had a fire. And I'd like to talk about, where you are now. Not go dredging up bad things. And, and also talk about Avid Aqua. And, the thing that's kind of peeking up behind your head there. I can see in the background a little bit. I actually wore the right shirt today. Look at that. Oh, it switched too quickly. But yeah, I did stick that on my chest. I was like, I think I actually have one of these shirts. Let me scooch this down so we can appreciate it better. There it is.
Limited edition.
Is it? Is it? Well, at least it fits me, and that's important. So if you guys haven't already gotten yourself a nice drink, make sure you've got something. I have alcoholic eggnog. He's got Coke Zero,
Skimmate.
I guess. Skimmate. Well, that's true. It is the Skimmate mug. That is true. And it's got the sticker on it. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, man. We're branding all day long, man. Come on now.
Hey, speaking of which, I should mention to you, probably should have said to you off camera, but Ryan reached out to me, I feel like 3 weeks ago, and said, I'm going to send you something, NDA. Never received it. So if he sent it, can you just tell him I never got it? I keep thinking I need to text him, and then I forget.
He's probably refining it. He probably thought he had it refined, and then he got me on the telephone, and I said, why didn't you do this? He's like, oh, I should have done that. And then...
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So in the meantime, I was just like, I should tell him maybe it shipped to the wrong address. I don't know. Usually I get care packages pretty well. My UPS... Oh, matter of fact, I ordered some stuff from UPS. I'm always doing something on Amazon, and I needed some new needles to put the glue down on the seams I'm gluing for acrylic work. And the little tiny package shows up. It's just like the tiniest. It's smaller than my phone, right? It's just really, really small. And I yell at the truck driver. I said, "You brought that big old truck out here for this little tiny thing? Can't you do better?" And he just laughed and drove away.
Yeah, that's what they need the drones for, right?
Well, yeah, this totally could have been drone delivery because that was one needle, not much weight to it at all.
Hey, I'm gonna reverse pitch something to you, man.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just like, I heard on the opening thing, $125 gets 2 hours of your time.
1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour of your time. I thought I misheard it. Okay, well, still a great deal. Especially, I just want to call you up like when I have a bunch of stuff die and I just want like a shoulder to cry on. Like, I don't need an answer. I just want somebody to be there like, man, I know what you're going through.
I would love that phone call. That's the best $125 I could earn. But no, seriously, I just had someone on earlier this week. They asked me, if I could, do a consultation, and I got on the phone with him. And I feel like we were 10 minutes in. He says, it's already worth the money. And then we went a little further, and he says, totally paid for itself. And he just really felt like he was getting some nice one-on-one assistance, which, in this day and age, you're not even getting help from people online because AI is trying to answer for everyone now. It's getting to that point now where even group responses are AI responses based on whatever it scraped from the group.
It's so hard to discern. It's so hard to discern anymore. And it's also really hard for some people that have this weird thing of valuation in their head, right? So they have no problem, go dropping $10 on a Starbucks milkshake, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but to get like an expert from way back's time to solve problems that could cost them thousands of dollars
Yeah.
for $100 or whatever, like
Yeah.
really? Like this is a weird thing in your head.
Yeah.
Same thing with like app purchases, right? And I'm guilty of it too, right? It's weird psychology. It's not like I'm special.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you go to get an app and you're like, $10 for an app?
I know.
Oh, I'm gonna spend $10, man. This is too much. This is a bridge too far.
Or you get the app for free, but then everything you want to do in it costs money.
And that's even more aggravating.
You start paying for it, and you're like, oh, man. But then
I just wish they'd just tell me up front it's $40 like the old days, right? And like, I'm $40, I'm done. I'm not going to ask you for any more money. I'm not going to have a subscription. But people aren't that way anymore. That's why they've moved to that. This is why they've moved to these models, because people have just devalued, smarts and technology and other things to a different level. And that's where it's at.
That's even the case with the news. Because you think about it, so many bits of news are sound bites shared on social media. But if you see a story and you want to read it, it's behind a paywall. And you're like, well, I'm not going to pay for that. And I just read something a couple days ago, and it's not the first time I've heard it. And it just said, because no one wants to pay for the paywall, the solid news that's been vetted is not being read, but all the free misinformation is everywhere for you to consume. And I was like, oh my God, that does make me feel like I should subscribe to some kind of paid for news channel. But it's just,
I know this isn't reef stuff, but I wish there wasn't. There's a, sorry for the delay, because there's a little delay on the camera thing, but there's a that's why I like the Apple kind of like universe, because with Apple News you get subscriptions to all of those things. So you get a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, right? So if you see a Wall Street Journal article out there and you try to go in and you go to the paywall, I just look at the title of it and search it in Apple News and it'll pull it up. Yeah. So that's super helpful. And so the reefing thing is very similar to that. It's why I love channels like yours. And at the same time, I've been doing work with Ryan at Serious Reefs as well. And you get to be free and open to say kind of what you want, and people are there to get the information because they're paying for the information, which is just the best, right? Because they're willing to listen to whatever it is you want to say because they're paying for it, and
they're invested, literally.
They're literally invested, and when you think about the cost behind it, like $10 a month or something, is like, are you kidding me? I mean, it's like so little.
I was looking into that channel. I was looking at that channel not too long ago. I was actually curious how many subscribers they have. Do you happen to know? Just out of...
I don't, and if I did, I probably couldn't say, but I sincerely don't.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was like, is it doing well? Is it doing okay? Is it kind of...
Well, I can say this. When
I was curious.
When anything gets posted, like one of the new videos or comparison videos, we've been doing these testing videos and stuff. We get quite a few comments on there, more than even sometimes stuff would get on YouTube. And the YouTube algorithm now doesn't even give people what they want half the time, and it's not great. So these people, and the way that we've been doing the content and the way that Ryan's done the content too, it's stuff, if you don't want to watch the video, you just listen to it, and then the latest thing is that he's converting it with a big part of it is AI to do it, but it's converting the video to text. So now you can go to seriousreefs.com, and one of the videos we did has now been transcribed, so to speak, but it's actually a blog page. So it's like almost like a Reef Builder's blog page, but it comes out of the video. So that's really cool and very helpful for people who want both. Yeah.
No, I could totally see that. I myself have had many people over the years keep saying, why don't you do a podcast? And I'm just like, oh, I did that a long time ago, and I don't know how to do it now. And I'm not saying I can't find out. I can obviously do some homework and learn how to make what I'm doing now actually become something that Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast could absorb, the RSS feeds or whatever it is it uses these days.
It's way different now. It's so much easier nowadays to do that, and you can do that from these from the audio from, for instance, this particular discussion that we're having,
Right.
and just have it available on your site pretty easily. So
Yeah.
that doesn't really cost anything, and it's simple. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
inject the ads in it or what have you. You can do advertising that they pay you for, all that.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Yeah. I keep
Got to
thinking
get
one
paid.
day.
Everybody's got to get paid.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, my dad told me a long time ago, stop doing it for free. He kept telling me that. He's like, stop helping people for free. Tell them it's $1. I'm like, Dad, that's not how this works. Not in this hobby. And to be honest, I mean,
Yeah. Well,
if I'm spending quality time with someone, I am going to get paid for my time. But if it's an answer I can give in an email or on a I was going to say on a forum, but I'm never on forums. So it's more like on a Facebook group or something. Either I will answer it or I'll address it or I'll put a link to an article on my website that addressed it 20 years ago and is still valid. But I don't really want to type it all like I used to. And there's a guy on there now. I mean, he's been posting for the last few years, Mina. He's on this channel sometimes in the chat. He might pop in here in a little bit. And he's based out of California somewhere, and he works in a fish store. I didn't know that until recently. I don't know if it was always like that or if it's something new, but the point is he was writing these massive replies, with all this information to help them, and he would usually link them to a YouTube video I did or to an article I wrote. And he would say the executive editor of Coral Magazine, Mark Levinson, said. And I actually wrote him one day and said, hey, I want to tell you something. Your in-depth answers are really good, and they remind me a lot of what I used to do. So keep up the good work. And he was just like, wow. And I was just like, no, seriously, what you're doing is a wonderful thing. I'm just not doing it anymore. I did that. Right. I lived on Reef Central for 7 years. And when that ended, I was done with that. And I started going in a new direction. And that's where Reef Addicts came from.
And you just have to just keep reinventing yourself, I mean, the entire video kind of thing that I brought to Neptune Systems years ago when it really wasn't being done by anybody that much, especially at the manufacturer's level.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get a little like this when I watch some of that old stuff.
Yeah. Now. Right.
It's pretty difficult to watch some of that stuff back. And guys like Ryan, same way you watch it back, you're like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
But it's part of the progression and relearning what, how to bring information forward to people, how to listen to what they want as well. It's not just a single direction kind of thing. And how to stay in tune. And, with Avid Aqua, that's really been kind of our thing from the start is, we're reef keepers, want to create cool stuff, want to get the feedback from people out there that, hey, we'd like to see this, we'd like to see that. Take all of our individual skills from members of the team and in reef keeping and apply that stuff and just bring great, cool products to market for people.
Yeah. I, myself, have one of their products here. I'm just going to hold it up. So this little guy here is
that's
Insight,
the new thing. Yeah.
And I'm sure Terence will have a much better in crisp photo of that for you guys in a second. Let me switch this back.
I don't know about photo, but I have a live version too when we want to talk about it. But I think, oh, you're going to go to that. Okay, well, that's fine. I can do that.
I'm just
too.
making it easy for you.
Yeah. So yeah, what Mark is talking about there is the Insight, which we actually debuted at Reefapalooza in California. And this is the first technology product for Avid Aqua. Mark alluded to the fact that I'd worked for Neptune Systems for some time and 9 years. And when I left there, obviously, when you leave a company and certain different things, you have certain restrictions. And when those restrictions did not apply to me anymore, I could then start working on products that were in the technical area that I was doing before. And this was one of the first things that I kind of came up with to say, hey, couldn't we have something that allowed people to, at a glance, see what's going on in their aquarium without having to pull their phone out and interact and do feed modes and other things like that. That would be, analogous to the old Neptune Systems display, but really not, right? So this is really what came with this. And the real thing for me too is this whole idea that when you're walking through your house or your office or what have you, you can just glance over and see what's going on your tank, and you can put it back on you now. People got kind of an idea of what that is, go back to here.
Yeah, give me this. There you go.
Yeah, I know. It's we use the same software, Mark and I, so we both sometimes struggle. But yeah, so the beauty is that it also doesn't connect to your Apex, and super simple to set up, and you can have more than one of these things in your house. But Mark, why don't you, like, because you've had it, you're in our, our kind of what I call the alpha program. We have a group of insiders that are all Apex nuts that have various levels of capability, let's just say, right? They all have Apexes. Some of them, they all use it, but some of them are like geeky programmer guys, and some of them are guys who just, they have it and they use it like an average person.
Yeah.
But maybe tell people your experience so far with it, and ask me whatever questions you want, even things that, like, oh man, I've always wanted to ask Terence about this. Why doesn't it do this, or is it going to do that?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, let's just start off with, I'm just going to talk about what happened. So Terence says, I want to send you something. I'm going to surprise you. And, I kept hoping for a box of cash, but instead this thing showed up. And it was nice. It was a nice little surprise. And what I really liked is when I plugged it in, it wasn't a painful situation. Because whenever you get something new with electronics, there's this whole thing about getting over the Wi-Fi hurdle and then getting it to associate with whatever. And when I had to download an app and maybe update a firmware on that, and then I plugged this thing in with a USB-C cable, and the power brick already had. It didn't need anything special. I just plugged it in, and it immediately found my Apex. Now, I guess if I had 3 or 4 Apexes, it might have been different, but it found the only one in my house, connected, and I was like, that was wonderful. Because I was dreading the whole, let me learn something new again, because this is always that thing. I sound like a grandfather, I get it. But at the same time, I have fought things like, for example, I still have right now running 2 different C-shape pumps that will not communicate with my network at all. So they're on. That's it. I can't do anything with them other than pull the plug and plug it in. And there's a lot of equipment like that, but it would be nice to use their app and maybe have it notify me if there's a problem, or adjust the flow rate or something. I can't. They don't talk to my Wi-Fi, and I don't know why. And it's kind of annoying. And so, when you have that kind of experience with something in the past, and then you get some new gizmo, hey, we're brand new to the market, try it out. I'm like, oh, here we go,
There we go, yeah.
Instead, it just worked. And then I had to learn something else new that I didn't want to do at all. I had to learn Discord, which is a different group chat forum thing.
Yeah,
I was
that's
just like,
not because of the, that's not because
got to
of the
learn how
link.
to use this, and I never would check it.
Discord, for those who don't know, probably a lot of you do know, it's basically kind of a group messaging app that's been used a lot for gaming. And so in order for all of these insider guys and us to stay in the loop with each other as to what's going on, or ask some of these guys to try this or to do that, that's the tool in which we used. And so, Mark had never used it before, so now he had to be part of some new thing that just to stay in the loop with us. But you've done fine.
And because I don't know it, like, for example, at one point Terence had made a post, and I'm just going to share this because it has nothing to do with anything. He says, did any of you guys see the Easter egg? And I think all of us said no. Or maybe one of us found it, I don't know. But the point is, later on, I thought he did another Easter egg, which he did not. It's because I don't understand the software well enough. And apparently I saw it on my screen again. And then he said something like, well, what if I just took it away? And I'm like, well, yeah, take your Easter egg away. We didn't find it anyway. Who cares? But you meant, what if we take away insight? And I was like, oh, no, don't do that. So it was this.
Yeah. So the question, the question as a product marketer that you want to get from insiders, and this is good to get a little insight into the insiders. So, which is fine, is, everybody wants to be your friend. People like getting free stuff and whatnot. And so you try to draw out of people as best you can the negativity, right? Or the stuff that's going to look rosy now, but then you find out reality later. And that's never really good. So you try to ask questions like, all right, so, if I took this thing away from you guys, would you miss it? Right? Would this be something that'd be like, or is it just like, whatever? And that was the question.
Yeah. And I thought you meant take away the Easter egg.
Yeah.
I was just like, we
don't
know what it is anyway. Go ahead. Take your stupid egg.
I can tell you almost, I think there was one individual that said, I could get along without it, but it is pretty cool. That was the weakest of response we got. The responses from everybody else was like, oh, no. I didn't
Yeah.
know this thing was going to be that cool to have. I got it. I was like, yeah, whatever. Now that I have it on my desk or whatever, I look at it all the time.
Yeah.
I do not want it to go away.
Yeah, no, I love mine. Mine's on my walk board. You know, it's funny because now when I have to work on the tank, I have to move things off the walk board because it's become a permanent shelf. But it literally is designed for me to stand on, walk across, work in my tank, and when I'm done, remove it and either put it on the back of the tank, which I still can't do because I have something in the way, or put it away. But now I've got the Trident NP on there, and I've got the Insight on there side by side, and they're constantly, because, just had to put it somewhere. And actually, I wouldn't mind having a second one here in my office. That would actually be a good thing. So what does it retail?
Okay, so we haven't got into some of the things about it, which there are some unique things that are more than just talking about looking at your Apex and looking at your Apex data, or just displaying your Apex data. But since you asked, there's two models, and we can get into the details between them, but there's a base model and a pro model. And the base model is going to retail for $159, and the pro model is going to retail for $199.
Okay. Is the pro model for people that wear glasses and need a really big one on the wall?
No. So this is where it gets interesting. So the data from your Apex, well, first of all, I mean, let's get out of the way that you don't connect this to your Apex, right? You plug it in, it finds your Apex on the local area network, right? And it doesn't go out to Apex Fusion. And it finds your Apex, and then it communicates on your local network. So even if your internet goes down, it'll still communicate on the local network, and it displays your information. At the same time, we have a data logging mechanism where we now can store, examine, and present notifications, if something's going wrong, predictive type things that we're just now kind of, trying to really understand what the possibilities are, because we're getting a certain amount of data, and we're going to be talking about the open beta here in a minute, where we'll be able to get a lot more data. But one of the data sets that we believe is super helpful is your environmental data, which means your room data. And the difference between the base and the pro is just that. The base does not get you that environmental data, and the pro does. So, the environmental data, by that, some of the things are obvious, like temperature, the humidity in the room, which is obviously important when you have an aquarium. And then the next thing is CO2, which is something that has been talked about. Ryan at BRS has done stuff on it, not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But talking about mitigating room CO2 to keep your pH level up, because what happens is that you're having gas exchange on the surface of your tank, you're having gas exchange in your skimmer, and you have a high CO2 level in your house, you're essentially injecting CO2 into your aquarium water, which then lowers the pH of your aquarium water, which doesn't make for great calcium carbonate creation in your aquarium. And so knowing that data is really important, because you can, first of all, immediately know when you have an issue, right? So just out of the gate. And it's not the same, say, all through the week, because you might have people in the evening, you might have people on the weekends. The second thing is that at some point, being able to use that information to then, if you need to have some form of mitigation, say a CO2 scrubber, to only turn on and off the air access or the bypass for that when you need it, because CO2 scrubbing media isn't cheap, right? And so you don't want to be running your CO2 scrubber all the time if you don't have to. So there's pro level things with this, and then there's just like, hey, maybe you want to open the window, right? Because your CO2 is high this weekend or whatever. I know you don't open your window.
Never gonna do it. Matter of fact, because of this gizmo, I would go ahead and I left the back door. The weather has cooled off a little, 50s and 60s instead of 80s, 90s, 100s. And so I opened the back door. I don't have a screen door because I never leave the door open, so why would I need a screen? And I left the door open, and it was open for maybe 15 minutes. And I said, let's go see if the CO2 dropped near the tank, which of course it didn't, which is funny. I thought it might, but I don't have like air blowing through the house. I didn't open a second door to create. But there is an effect of air moving into my house when I open the door, because in my fish room, I have a vent fan on the ceiling that runs 24 hours a day. So you can actually feel the wind across your face when you open the door. It's like, because the air is coming in, but it's going straight to that vent, I guess. But it's not really like permeating the room and making a big jump. But there's a guy in the Discord. I'll just say his name starts with a J. I don't know if he's secret or not. But he had said, "Hey, Mark, what happened to your tank on Saturday night?"
Joe, it's okay.
It's okay to say that? All right. Yeah. So Joe said, "I saw some weird things with your tank. I was very curious what happened." And I was like, well, and I don't know what I'm allowed to not say. Is there anything I can't say? Am I free to say anything, or is there a secret?
No, I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, that particular experience, what you're talking about, you can, right? Okay. And we are... let me get to the next part of the other sensor in there, and then it might even make your entire story, your little anecdote, even a little bit more salient. Sure. So the CO2 is an important thing. And then we said, well, there are these things called volatile organic compounds. And it basically, the easiest way I can explain it is if you've ever opened your car up on a hot day and you immediately get that kind of smell, right? That's one particular off-gassing of vinyl or other plastics in your car, and it's a volatile organic compound. There are sensors which are basically like digital noses that can sense this stuff. It's not going to know what it is. It just knows it's anomalous, right? It's like, oh, it's going up. Oh, now it's back down. It's up. It's down. And so we don't even know yet how we're going to be able to take advantage of this particular sensor because we have to characterize a lot of things. And at the same time, because of the smarts that we're doing, we'll be able to individually characterize everybody's kind of situation. So if you do something that's regular, or there's something that happens in your aquarium, like, you change out your filter sock, or I don't know. We don't even know, right? Those things will get accounted for as normal or not normal, and then we can let you know when something is anomalous, right? And that's the goal, right? But we're still trying to understand that. And so Mark's story that he's talking about is one of those times where, because all of these guys are in the alpha group, we get all of the data and we're doing analyses to try to understand when our AI and whatnot is seeing these anomalies happen. And so that's where Joe basically sent a message on Discord to Mark, and you can take it away from there.
So he tells me, wrong picture. Here, this one here. He tells me, what happened at like 4:50 p.m.? What happened near your tank? So I grabbed this picture. It's ready to go. And I had put this on my walkboard. So I had some company come over, and I put out some cheese and some crackers and some pecans and some dried apricots, because my visitors that were here had come in from Italy, and they had lots of flight problems, and they were probably hungry. And I just thought it'd be really nice if I were to go ahead and put out a little something to snack on. Maybe we'll go to dinner after this. But the inside smelled the cheese. And it said, what is this new smell? What is going on? And I said, I did put cheese within like 2 feet of this thing. And he says, was it like at 450? I'm like, it was at 454. He goes, that's pretty close. And I was like, I actually took a picture as soon as I put it there, because I was going to send it to a friend and say, look what I just did, because I like the plate look like a seahorse. So anyway,
now obviously we're not trying to create a cheese smeller, okay?
Right, but, I know. but actually, so hang on. So then he said, but then you had some more spikes. I was like, well, I had 2 people, myself and my dog, all in the same room around the aquarium for the next couple of hours. And he says, your CO2 really went up. I said, I didn't even look at it. Didn't even think about it. He goes, no, it rose significantly. But then they pretty much were gone by maybe 8 o'clock. And he's like, okay, well, this doesn't really explain why this number is still so high at like 10 o'clock. I said, hang on. I also went over to my aquarium with my Nikon, and I was taking pictures. And I was taking macro shots of corals, and that takes time, and you're right in one spot for a while. And then I could literally look at the timestamps of the photos when I was near the inside and when I was on the backside of the tank, and he could see the the spikes had changed from me not breathing all over it versus, being right next to it, taking photographs. And I thought that's really, really interesting. Nothing critical, but just semi-fascinating to think what it could be. And like right now, it's sitting here in my office that does not have fresh air. That door is always open behind me, but this room has 3 aquariums in it, a couple of lights, and that's just is. And it says right now it's 6:51. So if I pass out, call 911.
I'm at $7.99, man.
$7.99. Yours is?
Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, on my walkboard out there, I think it tends to be around 550 or so, but I like to just kind of look at the numbers and see where they're at.
Yeah, but 550 is great.
Is it? Okay. I thought it had to be even lower than that.
I give people an example. When we debuted this at Reefapalooza, when we first started setting up, it was reading like, I don't know, 650 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then I looked at it at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon on Saturday, like peak time,
show,
right?
Yeah.
It was 2,700. like you're gonna pass out.
That's all the babies are passed out in the strollers.
Exactly.
But listen, if the VOC thing, if it could get really intelligent, I don't know how far this little smellometer can work, but wouldn't it be cool if you guys, I don't know how you measure the spikes, whatever, but you could tell like that the tank had a spawning event. Because like, for example, when an anemone spawns and really messes up the water and the tank is a cloud, there's a smell to it. And another time I had my sea bait walk right over to a vortex and just face plant itself. And boy, did I smell that anemone throughout my house. It was insane how strong it smelled. And I peeled the animal off, put it back in the rock, hoped it would live, And I was looking at the tank, and I was looking at the skimmer, and I was looking at, should I run carbon? Should I do this? Should I do that? Be kind of cool if there was a notification saying something happened and the water smells different.
This is where the characterization comes in, and where you have to look at kind of the magnitude of an event, right, and understand what that means, right? So, and I'm talking from a point of way less information on this, obviously, than Joe has, but if we understand what is generally happening at your tank at certain times and certain other things that are happening, we can understand kind of where a baseline is, right? And then certain amount over that baseline is where a trigger point happens to be, and over maybe a particular amount of time, right? So it's spike time, and normalcy, or it to be that high at that time. And as I said, that requires, understanding that. Will it pick up decaying flesh or whatever that happens to be, that smell? RTN? I would say most likely. Just about anything that you can smell is going to be showing up on the VOC. To what level? Again, don't know. But things like, if you have a reagent that has a smell and you spill a reagent in your tank, or you have a tube from a reagent that comes off, another one that quite possibly, right? And again, especially if it's in a longer event, it's like something like everything's normal, right? And then all of a sudden something goes up here and it stays up there, right? Oh, okay. Well, you should probably go take a look at that. If you have a power supply that's starting to cook off, right? It's not catching fire yet, but it's overdriving a piece of equipment. You have some arcing or something like that. We don't know, right? It's not going to be a smoke detector,
right?
But for legal reasons, especially. But will this thing detect smoke? Oh, you bet. It's like all of if you burn plastic or whatever, that's going to give off some VOC for sure.
Huh. That's interesting. That'd be neat.
And wear cologne.
I was just thinking,
right? Mark's a big wearer of cologne. He likes to pack that cologne on. So when he gets near his tank,
always before the live stream, I got to smell good. No, there's weird thing. And look, how invasive you want your insight to be is ultimately going to be a personal choice. Some people love the smarter, the better. And if this little tablet thing was sitting in the living room in a dark room, and oh man, I hate my camera just moves because I put my hands on the screen. Stop doing that. Okay, maybe that'll cooperate there. I don't know. Nope, see, I'm short again. I don't want to be shorter than you, Terence. I want to be at least equal height.
Which camera are you using?
This is the tiny 360 from OBS.
Oh, and so it moves automatically because it's trying to reframe you?
Well, it sees my hand and it's like, oh, I have to do this now. And it does this thing and it locks. So
okay.
I just need to like disable that, I guess, because sometimes it's handy. It's nice when it'll track you around the room as I'm walking back and forth and it follows me. I like that. But there's other times where I just leave me where I am. Don't change me. Leave it alone. But
so you're in a dark room.
So if you're in a dark room, middle of the night, and this thing was seeing that the room is dark, it knows it's dark, and then your radions turn on at 3 a.m. because the timestamp in Mobius turned to 1957 again. Wouldn't it be cool to get a notification that your lights are on when they shouldn't be? I mean, I know that has nothing to do with
that
you
a different
guys.
way, to be honest with you. We're not going to be able to sense that because we don't have an optical sensor inside the Insight.
That's what I'm saying. This would be how smart you want a device to become. Do you want to listen to you and do your algorithms? No. But some might. I don't.
If I knew I had an endemic problem like software that didn't cooperate like it should, like you're talking about, I would be using the power monitoring on my Apex to say, hey, shut this outlet off if the power is above this at this time to this time.
Yes.
And then that would be an easier way of monitoring that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I wanted to go back to having multiple of these because you said having it in a dark room.
Yeah, I know it has to be near the tank though.
I mean, that's why we have the multiple models too, because you may not care about your room, your room sensors. If you want to have this on the nightstand in your room, right, your bedroom, or in your family room, but you do want to have it right near where the tank is or under the sump or what have you. Right. It's also mounts different ways too. So you haven't seen the new mounting, by the way. You have old stuff. So I don't know. Maybe put me back on the split, maybe, and we'll see if I can do it on there and get it on the split cam thing, or off your split on my split, right? Yeah. Kind of a thing. All right, let's see here. There we go. Okay, so if you look, if we can get that in camera, there's the back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see there on the back there is a little hook, and what that hook is for a couple of different types of mounts. First of all, you guys are probably familiar with the Mod Mag. If you're not yet, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But now the Mod Mag just basically slides up on it like this. So now imagine that you have.
That's so cool.
You have your frag rack on the inside of the tank, and you want to hang this on the outside of your tank. You got that magnet free anyway, so why not use it, right? Or if you just wanted to mount it on the inside of your cabinet on something or what have you, you now have a magnetic way to go out and do that. Some people might want to cut a hole in a mounting board or even in the side of their stand or their door or what have you. It is a panel mount as well. So you can see it kind of has a little bezel around it.
Yeah.
But you need to have something to strap it in. So what you do is you use this little strap guy here. Let's see if I can get this in the picture. Oh, I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
This little strap right there goes up and then wedges against the panel.
Got it. That's pretty neat, actually.
So yeah, we designed it so that it has.
So the bezel's on the outside, the strap's on the inside, and there's a space of what, 3/4 of an inch, maybe.
So there's how it goes, and you can see on the edge now that's going to kind of press against it, and these in production those will actually snap off depending on the thickness of the wall of whatever you're mounting it to. So if you got a skinny wall, you don't snap anything off. If you got like a 1/2 inch thick, then you snap them all off,
that's
right?
Neat. Yeah.
And then the last way is if you have this just on a table, it's just going to sit like that. So it's just going to sit like, let's see if I can get it in there in frame.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you've got that fancy USB-C cable. Mine's a straight in. That doesn't have that nice 90 on the side. I like that.
Yeah. And so, we can go back here. I'll get back to just you and I here and discuss. So as far as the cable's concerned, you can bring it back to both of us. So as far as the cable is concerned, it will come with a cable. It'll come with like a 5-foot USB-C cable with a right angle on it, just like that.
Yeah.
It won't come with the power brick though. And that's because most people have some place to plug this in already. You either have a multi-brick that they have already, an old iPhone brick.
Yeah.
They have something. And if they don't, they're so super cheap. We just didn't want to burden the cost to everybody.
Yeah.
To have the power supply in it. It seemed like a waste, and Apple's not doing that on any products now anymore as well. So yeah.
Guys. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll run right off of that one. Absolutely. So yeah, you'll get the mounting strap, you'll get the power cable, and you'll get the display. and at 159 for the base unit, and then you can set one. One of the funny things I use to explain to people, because I get people all the time, they're like, "But I've got my phone, right?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you've got your phone, right? But how about in your family room? You just got done monkeying around with your tank. Your significant other is like, honey, come and watch a movie with me." And you're like, okay, cool. And you come and sit down and watch a movie, and you want to know, like, oh man, what's happening on my tank? Is the skimmer overflowing? What's going on? And you go and reach in your pocket and you pull this out, right? You're dead, right?
Yeah,
It's
your
like,
spouse is not going to like that. Yep.
Yeah. So if this thing is just sitting over on your end table, you know, because you're in the other room, you just kind of look over, like, yeah, okay, pH is good. I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, having a nice display, especially having it go to that large number where you can just have it where it just rotates automatically. You don't have to sit there and tell it how long between numbers. It's just going to go through this rotation. I like that. And you can also flip through it. So once you've got the big numbers on the screen, you can, if you want. That is a feature built in. Yeah. I wish that it would show my nitrate, but I have a problem with my nitrate, and I can't seem to resolve it. And I've got an open ticket with Neptune that I never replied to. That's all my fault. Where they were trying to start to assist me, and I just haven't, made the mental effort to proceed. But I really only care about phosphate, and I watch this thing every day. Like at 4 o'clock, the test happens. By 6 o'clock, the number's on the screen because it takes a couple hours for that test, for it to do both tests. And then I quickly look at it, and it makes me want to use Phosphate RX more frequently because I see the number rising a little incrementally each day, where I would have to remember to open my phone, open the app, look at the number to see it. Or I wait till water test Saturday on Saturday, and I just find out the hard way. But with this thing right here in front of me, every time I look at the aquarium, I see the phosphate level. It's the top number on my little insight. And I actually like it that way. That's my preference.
Speaking of configuration, that's how, for anybody that wants to know, that's how you configure it. There's basically a little app that communicates to it. You can set, whatever you want for each one. There's 3 different views, one that has a bunch of different stuff, one that has those 6 with a priority for 3 of them, and one that has the single, kind of screensaver. I call it the Oracle. And the notifications on the screen too will come up. There's big red notification on there too. So if you have an issue, it's reading your settings in your Apex for those Apex alarm levels. And also we don't have it implemented yet. You'll see this at some point, Mark, first, which is a kind of a gradated level. So right now, the only thing that makes an audible sound, because it's got a little speaker in it, the only thing that does that is when you have a water leak event, right? Something that's that big. Yeah. If it's just a regular alarm, it shows up red. But what we want to do is have an alert, like a yellowish alert or whatever color you want, but yellow always seems to be the thing when it's approaching, right? Yeah. So it hasn't got there yet. It's still your alert in your Apex, but it's maybe 10% away. Yeah. It's like, okay, want to let you know you're getting close, right? On this one. You got there, it's red. You're 10% over, it's screaming at you, right? Like, tell me, right now I got to go do something. So that's also the benefit of having a device like this over having your phone, where you're getting tons of notifications. You don't know what they are. Yeah. The Apex notifications are still somewhat cryptic, right? And this will help solve that,
Is the no, I never get any alarms because I don't have anything set up that way to get those alarms. Like I don't do anything for, I don't know. My temperature's never out of range, so I haven't had that one pop up. My liquid level sensor doesn't have alarms on it. It just tells me whatever the number happens to be inside the top-off container, which I can visually see when I'm looking at my tank, because it's right there. So I know it's low or it's high, and I fill it once a week. So I haven't had any kind of alerts to where I get to play with alarms or hit the mute button that I think is you've mentioned or I've seen discussed. I haven't enjoyed it yet.
There's a snooze for 30 minutes and snooze for 24 hours or something like that. I can't remember what the values are, but that is also in there because many times you have something like this go off. Let's say it is a small leak or something, and you don't want that thing to continue to scream at you while you're trying to fix the thing that it's telling you about.
Right.
So you can hit the snooze or you can hit the ignore and go take care of the leak or whatever it is, and then the alarm shuts off because it's no longer in an alarm condition. It's no longer wet or whatever it is. Yeah. And it did its job, and it's not sitting there just screaming at you the entire time while you're trying to clean up something.
Yeah, maybe there's a way I can actually enable some of those things on here, like when my waste collector's full. Maybe there's some way I can tell it the float switch has changed. I don't know, but for me, it would have to be a water leak, and I haven't had one. But I do know when in the past where I had a water leak or I had something like a dosing pump just kind of drain its liquid into the pond liner, and the display module on the apex would make its stupid noise that I hate.
Right.
And then I'd hit the button. Yeah, that song.
Whatever.
I'd hit that button to stop it, and like 3 seconds later, it just starts again. I'm like, oh my God, I already hit the button. At this point, I've communicated, I understand there's a problem, because I physically pushed your button. And it's like, nope. And I have to hit it again. And then again, it's just a matter, it feels like it's almost right back to alarm again, to the point where I'll unplug the display until tomorrow, which is so stupid. So having a mute in this thing is a great idea. I think that's really smart. I'm glad that's a feature. I just haven't had a chance to play with that yet. It hasn't been a thing.
Well, this is really myself, Joe, and Ryan, or what have you, looking at what would we do? What would we want? How would we use? I'm not talking about on the geeky level. I mean, there's, so many of the aquarium controller stuff and the aquarium controller companies, the people who are creating features and stuff are thinking at it way up here. Like the guy who's the geekiest of geeky things.
Yeah. He has the very specific need.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
We're trying to think about it in what's the average guy want to have and what's going to make their life really easier.
Yeah.
Not do some super complicated programming thing from whatever.
Yeah.
That was great at a time, but now it's about how do you make things easier and just really focus on the success, right? And getting this data that we have, and our integration right now is with the Apex, but we see integrations in other areas as well, so we can bring together a lot of different data and then display for you with the insight, not just numbers, but information in a different way that you can use. Yeah. Right. That's the best way I can describe it.
I might have had one alarm happen once, possibly because I have a temperature probe in the fish room itself that just measures the air temperature. Mm-hmm. And that got up there recently because weather change, and you can't make up your mind between heat and cold. So the room got a little toasted. I think the room got up to like 80.1, and I have my thing set up to warn me. The fish room's getting too warm now, which would, over time, make the aquarium too warm as well. And I do think maybe that popped up briefly. There's probably alarms that I could set up for some of these widgets. I'm looking at the menus, and I'm looking at pH. That could probably be one that you could have it where it lets you know if the pH gets too low, or if the pH gets too high because your alkalinity overdosed and flooded your tank with alk.
All kinds of reasons. I'm just trying to rearrange this because I saw something that Devin did the other day that I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
Is he actually did
Stuck
that.
In the corner. Nice. Yeah.
On the magnet.
Are you using the magnet to hold on to the mic?
Yeah, it's on my mic.
That's pretty great. I like that.
There we go.
That's really cool. Yeah. I can just get my magnet, put it on my shirt, and just wear it on my chest like a body cam.
I'm going to be like Iron Man. I'm going to be like the Avid Aqua Iron Man. I'm just going to
Insight Man.
Right here in the center. Insight Man.
So my unit has been given a serial number. I'm like 009 or something like that.
Oh, man.
Does that mean I'm going to be stuck with this thing and I have to buy myself a good one to get like the production quality? What is the scoop on that? Where are we at? Are we done with 3D printed stuff and now we're making real products?
We're going to swap yours out for a number of reasons that I don't need to get into here.
It smells too cheesy. Got to get rid of it.
And you will get an open beta version of the product that has this new back on it with the new mounting ways and whatnot, and it'll have the same sensors that you have, and pretty much everything else is identical. But speaking of open beta, people. First of all, do you have any questions in your chat? Let's address some questions, man.
I think one person wanted to know about Hydros. Is it ever going to work with Hydros? Is that a possibility?
I'm not ruling it out. I can tell you right now, obviously I'm an Apex guy from way back, right? We understand the interface on the Apex. One of the things that's unique about the Apex too is that it has its own web server and accessibility through the web server and kind of API-ish inside your network, right?
Yeah.
So that availability of information and interoperability is there. The market size, right? The Hydros has got a lot of customers now, but the historical market size of the Apex is big. So that's what makes the most sense to go after. So if there is demand, and if I believe the Hydros, people would have to, work cooperatively with us to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible down the road, but it's not going to be our focus short term. Certainly not in the next 6 months. I don't think it's going to be a thing that's going to happen.
This thing just magically found my Apex out of the air. Are you saying the Hydros isn't just sitting in my air waiting to be absorbed into the inside?
I don't want to. I don't want to speak about things that I don't have that much knowledge of.
Okay. All right.
I know that the Hydros does have Bluetooth, and it does have obviously Wi-Fi built into
Yes,
it.
it does.
I don't know what is exposed, internally on the network or how.
Okay.
My guess from things I've been told only is that there isn't an Apex-like access to your data in the Hydros world, which would require us then to have to work more tightly and cooperatively with those guys. So, yeah.
Okay.
So
let's see if you recognize this. Do you happen to recognize this, Terence?
I recognize
this acronym.
PBITAWA.
If you can't say instantly, I know what that is, you don't recognize it. But Ziggy brought up a blast from the past. This is a phrase we used on Reefcast on our original podcast.
Okay.
We were talking about people that were not qualified to have an aquarium, and we came up with PBITAWA, which was pour bleach in tank and walk away. Just stop having an aquarium. It was super mean of us. And and we were talking about, could you make your video a podcast? And Ziggy hit me with this thing probably 40 minutes ago, and I just had to throw it on screen. So I was curious if you recognize that or not.
Nope.
All right, here's a question for you. And I'm sorry, this is all text over text, but it says, Terence, have you thought about having a feeding ring attachment that could be cool with a feeding ring on the inside and camera mount on the outside for your magnet assembly?
Absolutely, we've thought about that, and
that wouldn't work.
I will.
The camera is sitting above the magnet, right? And the feeding ring would be way down here. Your water line's way up here. There's no way. You'd have to have the ring. You'd have to have the camera under the ring, looking up at the ring.
Feeding. I thought he meant like a algae clip slash whatever. So you're talking about like the two little fishies hula hoop thing that floats on the top of the water and does that. Okay.
Right.
No, actually, I haven't put much thought into that, but I already understand how I can do it. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't take much for us to do something like that. And that is a very cool idea, because that means that your food is now going to fall in front of your camera.
Yeah.
And so you now get this really cool.
On a rimless aquarium, you may be able to do it, but a tank with trim, the camera has to be underneath the ring, because there's plastic trim, there's a water line, the ring's up here, camera's here.
Yes, I can have an attachment that'll reach up to the surface and be able to give you a ring. So, and not occlude the camera either. So I know how to do it just sitting here. Nice. But we have, a number of things that are in the pipeline for the Avid Aqua, magnets, the Mod Mag. There's a number of new products that are in the pipeline already. Some of them are already being manufactured, and we're not going to slow down on giving you cool things to attach to your Mod Mag.
Look at this guy right here.
Look at that.
I haven't used everything. Now this one is rated 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch glass, and I always need stuff for 3/4 inch glass.
Yeah, that's for 1/2 inch. So if you want to use that on 3/4 inch glass,
I'm sorry, you're right.
To me.
Yep. Go ahead.
It'd be really strange to want to use that on 3/4 inch glass, because that would mean you're putting it on your display.
Yes.
And most people are not going to put a tubing adapter on your display.
You're
and
right.
I doubt you make too many 3/4 inch thick acrylic sumps.
Yeah.
So that's generally...
They're not ruined. They're not ruined.
Hey, I'm going to give credit where credit's due here, ladies and gentlemen, the 35 people that I see on here right now. I am going to tell you right now that I heard that first on a Mark Levinson live stream, where he talked about some product that did that.
Yeah.
Feature
it
that I don't know.
Two little fishies feeding clip.
Yeah, I don't know if that was... I don't know if he intended that. I'll have to ask Julian on that, but I don't know if he intended that. But once I heard that, I was like, okay, that is a feature. We are going to do that in the Mod Mag. Uh-oh, now I lost your audio. Now we're back to me. All right, Mark, what did you hit? I think we're still streaming. So
yeah, no, I paused the sound for a second. I paused the sound because I was taking things out of your crinkle plastic, and I didn't want to be crinkling people's ears if they were in AirPods. So I've got these little straws. I think these straws were for your...
I'm only seeing me right now, so just so you know.
You're right. Thank you. I think these straws were for the sample line on the trend.
Yes.
To kind of hold that super skinny tubing.
That's exactly what they're for, and we included them just because in the tubing one, in case somebody wanted to, to also use them there. They're relatively inexpensive, but in the probe holder is where they originated, which is those things are used so when you have your temperature probe, your pH probe, your salinity probe, whatever, all in the probe holder. Well, why not also have a place where your 1 or 2 water testing devices could have a tube, because they all use these little skinny tubes that are now managed and kept off the bottom. And when you put the little tube in there too, it also keeps it, if you hit the tube, it adds a little bit of friction, like plastic on plastic or silicone on plastic friction. So you can't just like yank it out super easy out of the tank.
Yeah.
So that was the reason for adding that in there.
No, that was smart. So, Terence, talk to us about your aquarium.
Oh, okay. Which one?
The one that's not on fire? I'm assuming by now all that's behind you. There's a whole normal house, and there's an aquarium in there, right? I mean, are we there yet?
Well, again, define are we there yet? So we currently, have an aquarium. Nancy wanted to have an aquarium, and she thought that the little anemone clownfish tanks from the Hello Reef thing were just super cool, right? So great marketing on their part, because they got her, okay? And so so I said, okay, I'll put one up, and you're going to become an aquarist, because obviously with all my stuff before, she would help out and stuff, but I was like, no, I want you to do some of this stuff, right? So you're going to do the water testing and do some of these different things, and you're going to have to be patient, because like, I want fish now. So we do have a Hello Reef tank. It has 1 anemone in it, 3 snails, and 2 really cool fish. They're called mocha lattes or something like that, from Sea and Reef, I think, aquaculture, whatever. I picked them up at the local fish store. Nice. So yeah, that's a long ways from what I had before. Right. And for those of you who don't know, it's almost 2 years. I guess it's going on 2 years ago. I have 425 gallon, like SPS, massive SPS heavy tank that, it was a great tank. And by the way, anybody tells you that having a tank like that is difficult, it's not. It's not as difficult as you think. It's probably not probably. It absolutely is more difficult to keep this Hello Reef tank than it was for me to keep the big tank in terms of worrying about something and testing. These little tanks behind me and the Caitlin's Reef, they're all more effort involved. The 400 gallons on autopilot.
It's all
Yeah.
automated, and I just make sure that everything's running. I mean, that's it. I mean,
that is
and
it.
that's why everything's grown into the point where it made a wall of dense coral on the top, and no more light could penetrate. And I had to rip out huge sections of stuff and just throw it away just to make more flow.
Oh, I
in the
know
tank
that.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, almost, I guess that's almost 3 years ago.
I was
It's
gonna
almost
say
3 years
it
ago.
feels longer than
It's
2
3.
years.
Sorry. Yeah, it's almost 3. It'll be 3 years in January.
Okay.
Come Christmas Eve, it'll be 3 years that my mom passed away.
Yep.
Then we went out to Ohio, where we did her funeral.
Yeah.
And after the funeral, the day after, I was like looking at my phone. I'm like, oh, there's some weird stuff going on with the tank. I don't know. Oh, well, right. Went to my aunt's house. Like later in the afternoon, look again. I'm like, oh, let me check out, one of my cameras or whatever. Oh, no camera access, no whatever. Oh, that's not good. Call it Paul and Vincent. Went out to the house, and then I got a call, and it was like, dude, sorry to tell you this, but water's flowing out your front door. Sprinklers are on everywhere in your house. Bad news. And I was like, oh.
So they got there after the fire was done.
Correct. So
okay.
What often happens with aquarium fires, even smaller aquariums than mine, is, first and foremost, something cooks off under your tank, right? And then it starts to burn everything under your tank, maybe even your sump and whatnot. Even though the sump's got water in it, other things will start burning, wires, everything.
Yep.
And then eventually it gets enough fuel that it gets super hot under the tank.
Yep.
And then what happens is the glass shatters because of the heat. Because of the high heat, and all the water comes down through a very small amount in high accelerated water, and it puts out the fire.
So convenient.
This is what happens all the time. I've seen it at public aquariums like in Utah before, where they had a similar thing happen back in the days. Remember those heaters that were melting and cooking off?
Yep.
Yeah, they had that problem there. And so in my house, it started. My stand didn't have any kind of wrap around the stand at the time, kind of how you leave yours open, right? Like that.
Yeah.
And underneath I had a small little bookcase so I could store some things in it with those little cloth little drawers,
the little cloth drawers. Yep.
And most of my equipment was all downstairs in my fish room, except for a couple of energy bars and a couple of other modules to run my lights, and my pumps, my circulate, my, what do you call it? Water moving pumps.
Yeah.
And so something happened. Best fire inspectors probably in the country, because they're in California and they're one of the best in California, right? Came out, carved everything up after the fact, and took it out. Nobody could figure out what it was. Something cooked off. It started to burn the bookcase, started to burn other, the bottom wood and the back mounting wood that I had the equipment on.
Yeah.
That heat went up to the ceiling and set off the sprinklers in California. After a certain time, certain areas of California, I should say, houses, construction has to have sprinklers in the house.
That's
so ours
actually
does.
Awesome. I guess it sucks, but that's so cool that you had sprinklers that come on automatically inside your home to put out a fire.
I think it's neat, and I think this is going to be one of those kind of like, what do you call it? Seatbelt kind of stories, right? You got the guy who didn't wear a seatbelt. Thank God I got ejected out of the, whatever.
Yeah, because all your property got flooded. Yeah, no, I get that part.
Yeah. So it's like, what put the fire out ultimately was the tank bursting and 425 gallons of water rushing down and put it out. So would that have happened anyway? Yeah, because the sprinklers couldn't get to the fire because of the tank above it.
Right.
So it continued to burn.
Yeah.
Got the tank. And then, so if I didn't have sprinklers in this incident, it would have been better for me, because I would have had a dead tank. I would have had a flooded from my tank front room to my house.
Right.
I would have smoke on my wall.
Yeah.
But that was it, because nothing caught fire on the wall.
Right.
So everything.
Just out of curiosity, did you do sprinklers in the whole house or the area affected?
No, they're in the entire house. Has
so
to be covered by
every
sprinklers.
piece of the house got sprinkled.
Yeah, by code has to be covered by sprinklers.
It should go by zone. It should be zone 1, zone 2.
No. Okay, I misunderstood your question. So there are sprinklers everywhere in the house, but only the ones that cook off go on. So they have. They basically there's different kinds. I'm not an expert in this. There's different kinds of sprinklers, and some of them work where, if you have one go off, it has a pressure sensor and it will blow all of them. Those were not the ones that I have. We had 4 or 5 of them go off in the main living space in the front of the house. But what that does is it floods the whole house. Smoke goes everywhere in the house.
Yeah, the smoke damage is the worst. It gets into everything.
It's insane. And it's, and it's horrible smoke, right? This is burnt plastic and stuff smoke. And everybody has these. I know you've done a lot of renovations lately, so you probably found a few of these. Everybody has these cubby holes or closets or whatever in your house where when you move in or whatever, you put a bunch of stuff thinking it's going to be the place that you put stuff, and you never see it again for like 10 years, right? It's just in the back of that closet.
Yeah.
We unpacked some of those areas to get everything out of the house.
Sure.
And, 3-foot deep linen closet full to the rim, of comforters and stuff.
Yeah.
There's smoke in the back of it.
Yep. It permeates
everything.
Yeah. If you have a book, that book will always smell of burn. It will always smell of smoke. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I had to deal with someone's property. I can't remember how I got it in my possession, but they had some kind of a fire and all their stuff, somehow ended up with a box of other things, and everything reeked of burn. Even though it wasn't even the same building. It was like literally they brought the box and you didn't want any of it. It was just ruined. I'll tell you, Terrence, I don't have a sprinkler system in my house. I bought myself a couple of fire extinguishers that I hope I never have to use. But I did have a near miss years ago in my attic. And it was the craziest thing. I used to have my office in my bedroom. I had this. When I bought the house, the crazy thing about my bedroom, the master bedroom, it didn't have a big closet. So the people that lived here before me, she put clothes in all the other bedroom closets because she had no room in her own bedroom for clothes. And I looked at that tiny closet, so, that'd be a great office nook. It was like 5 feet wide. I was like, I'll just put a full 5-foot desk, throw my giant monitor on there, get my keyboard, get my mouse, So anyway, I'm sitting at this desk for years and years. And I remember there's this one day, I can't remember when this was, but it was a while back. And I kept smelling burned electronics. And I walked out to check on the tank. I looked at the sump. I came back to my office. I was like, God, it smells like my desk. It smells like my monitor is having a problem. But there was no smoke. There was no sparks. There was no sounds. And I was just, it's so weird. Went outside, came back in. I was like, I still smell it. So my son came home like 40 minutes later. He goes, what does that smell? I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. You smell it too. And he went over to the monitor and he goes, I think it's your monitor. I'm like, I know, but it's not. I don't understand. So I called the fire department. I said, do you have some kind of a sniffing machine that, helps you like zone in?
Yeah, it's called a VOC.
2 minutes later, I had 8 giant guys, maybe 6. Let's just call it 8. 8 giant guys in full gear, tank on their back, the hood, the helmet, the face mask, swarming into my home. And I remembered they went every room. And 3 of them were standing around my monitor, my desk. And they're just like, it does seem like it's this monitor. And then you could hear this little tiny voice up in the attic. Found it. He's saying, found it. And we're like, what is it? So the thing that was catching fire was the low voltage wire to the doorbell.
Yeah.
That little.
This is a very good point. That
12-volt wire.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a very, very good point to bring up, because most people think of like fire coming from something that's only plugged into your 110 power, right? Like that's where fire is going to come from. This other thing, it runs off of a battery. It runs off of, it's got a transformer on it and it's low voltage. Look, it's no big deal, whatever. No, it doesn't matter. It's the current, right? So whatever current is being drawn through there, or that can be drawn through there because of the way the power supply is designed. Yeah. So yes, with a doorbell, right, you get a short, like a rat or a mouse chews through some wire, which is very common. The other thing too that that's fused is things like on HVAC. You've got that like out to
the thermostat wire.
The thermostat wire is another one. I had
voltage.
actually a short in, and it was melted. Like somebody did the wrong fuse or something in one of my properties. I traced it all the way out and right out by the, by the air conditioning unit. It was melted and all,
Yeah.
like something had bit through it and shorted it.
Yeah.
So even with my fire, there's a lot of people said, oh, it's the energy bar. That thing, it's got a problem. You know what? Don't know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you if you ever have a connection, and you might have seen this because you've connected a lot of aquarium gear in your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially those pumps, right? So like a DC pump.
Yeah.
And you connect it in, and that connector's a little bit loose.
Yes.
Or you get a little arc.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little arc. You can even click.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Exactly. So that is the kind of stuff that can cause a fire. Now, once you get it all the way in there, if it's snug and it's contacting everywhere that it needs to, it's not a problem. But if you have something that's loose and then it starts to arc, then what happens is it progresses, because now you've got less surface area to carry that current, and it'll get hotter, and then it'll arc a little bit more maybe, and then it'll get hotter, and then you'll get melted plastic, and then you get a fire. And this is and so you really want to make sure that all your connections, you got tight connections. If you got a hot wire or a wire that's kind of like a noodle, right, and when it should be stiff and it's kind of warm,
yes,
these are the kinds of things to look for, in your reef. Now, I lost everything. If you were to calculate out, like I've tried not to do the math, right, but if you were to calculate out the coral value in that tank, of some of the corals that I had in there, just crazy acropora that I had. And you're like, okay, even if I gave a generous 2-inch frag of this coral, right, and sold it for $20, that would be like $1,000, because I've got a coral head that's like this big,
Yeah.
And in a way, I was happy that Serve Pro came in and took care of all the stuff for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to really experience, I was gone, right? So I called them in from afar.
Right.
And so I didn't have to experience all of, my special dead fish,
Yep.
I didn't have to see, all the dead coral at that time.
Right.
They pulled a bunch of stuff out. When I came home, which was just a few days later, like a couple days later, oh, the smell was not good.
No.
I can tell you that.
No.
But we recovered. We survived. Everything is good. You're thankful for everything that you have.
Yeah.
Sadly, 6 weeks after that event, so that was 2 events, that comes in 3 things, which I don't believe in, but if you do, good for you. That's when Vincent passed away. So a good friend and colleague, who you might have seen in some of the Neptune Systems videos. In fact, one of the final live streams I ever did, I think on Neptune Systems, had him in it with his tank in his office. So that was trying time, early 2023, for me.
Lost your mom, lost your reef, lost your good friend. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough times. But we pulled through, and lots of challenge for us, and the house is all put back together now, and it's ready for a new real aquarium.
Yeah.
We're kind of
this
waiting
one
to
uses
see...
no electricity.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd be lying if I didn't say that my wife Nancy is not
apprehensive.
concerned. She's absolutely, in that space, and she, kind of wants to, make sure everything is done right and everything else. I always wish I could have spotted what caused it, because then I could say,
realistically, you could have done everything right, and it was just Murphy's Law. It just, something happened. I'll tell you this, and everyone listening to this show right now should literally look at what's plugged in under their tank. Even their power strip that goes into the wall, make sure that's seated all the way in. Because if it's hanging out 1/4 of an inch, that's a gap of just raw metal, and if a drip of water goes down the wall or splashes over from 2 fish flitting about, that can hit that bare metal, and that can cause an arc or a spark too. So make sure even your power, if you have a 6-way strip and no controller, push that all the way into the wall. Make sure every outlet's pushed all the way in. I'm constantly looking at plugs in my house and doing that.
Yeah, that connection is so important. When you mentioned halfway in, the water thing is certainly one of them, and drip loops and all of those things are so important.
Yeah.
But the real thing is that device, right, is rated for a certain amount of amps based on the fact that you've got that thing plugged in, and that entire blade on both sides is, is contacting well.
Yeah.
And so just be aware of those things. Be aware that hey, I'm going to take care of that later. Don't take care of it later.
Do you remember years
I wish I
ago
knew what caused it, but
there was a brand of power strip that came out from Coral Life, and it had a timer built in, and those things kept catching fire. And all I did was tell everyone, if you own this, throw it away. If you own this, unplug it immediately and get just a straight 6-way power strip with no timer and plug timers into that. Stop using that one.
You know what they had to put on the back of that? It's pretty funny.
I have no idea. Will cause fire? I don't know.
No, well, you're not far off. So that device, I believe, was not originally made for aquariums, right? It was bought from somebody who already
for a Christmas
had a
tree
design.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it has 2 timers on it, and so it had UL approval, right?
Wow.
But it did have UL approval. But if you turned it over, there was a sticker on the back that said "Not for aquarium use."
Okay.
So when you bought
and a lot of people were, and it was sold by Coral Life.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is an aquarium company.
Right. So the thing is that it has UL approval.
Yeah.
Not for aquarium use, right?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
And so because of that, they had to stick that sticker on there.
Yeah.
And so for whatever reason in the aquarium environment, they were catching fire, and that was clearly a problem. And that's why I only believe, and I could be wrong, we at Neptune Systems spent a lot of time and money on the Energy Bar 832, and it's not without its history of warts, of things that have failed and had to be changed in the design and whatnot over time. But we actually did the certification, the ETL certification to be UL approved. And there's a ton of different things that you have to drop a big, 3-pound ball on the top of it. You have to do all of these different things. And I don't believe any other power strip-ish product is certified in the aquarium industry to be used on an aquarium in what they call a multi-tap device. But it doesn't mean anything either, because it still can catch fire. I mean,
I know everything
can catch fire.
My weird thing that happened in the attic, I didn't tell you what actually, he found the source, but what I didn't know is what had happened until, he explained it. So up in my attic, because I bought my house used, there was these super long boards laying on top of the insulation. It's called, I think it was called soffit material, which is just the underside of the room of your house. And somebody had put a couple of these, whatever they are, they're probably 16 feet long. They laid them across so you had something to walk on, so you weren't trying to only walk on every other rafter and not step through and fall through the sheetrock.
Right.
And that soffit board was pushing down on that low voltage wire. It wasn't a mouse or a rat that bit it. And it broke the plastic casing, or whatever that material is called, that vinyl casing.
Yeah.
Which then smoldered the 2x6 or the 2x4 that is the wood of the ceiling, which then smoldered all the insulation.
Oh, wow.
And it was a huge section of insulation was smoldering, not ignited, smoldering. Right. And then there was a wire of 110 or 120 volts going across it, 3 feet long, where all the plastic was gone. The outer sheathing was gone, and each individual it was 3 wires doing this through the air with power running through them. And my house is a 50-year-old house. It used aluminum wiring. It wasn't even copper.
Yeah.
So I had 3 hot, or one's common, one's neutral, one's hot. 3 live wires, 3 feet across, completely naked in the attic from this heat coming off the insulation. It just melted away all the plastic. And I can't remember who did what, but he found the problem. I assume they just turned off the breaker to the entire house. That's my guess. I doubt they said, we'll turn off the circuit that goes to this one wire. And then, of course, American Home Shield, they swear, give us your money, we'll fix anything. If we can't fix it, we'll replace it, which is such a lie. And I have been spending my life telling people, do not use American Home Shield for
all
anything.
The insurance stuff is there's so many outs,
such a scam. Right? So anyway, the electrician that came out the next day, he looked at it and he said, they're not going to pay me to fix this. I know American Home Shield. I'm like, of course they'll do it. I pay for this. They're going to cover it. Nope, they're not. I'm going to put an electrical box over here. I'm going to put an electrical box over here. I'm going to put a new piece of wire. I'm going to get you going. But you're going to need someone that does this. So he did what he did, and it's been like that ever since.
Right.
But that was the weirdest, and that could have been my roof catching fire above me, not even knowing, sitting at my desk, because the smell came down through the walls or whatever. Like I said, I don't know why my monitor, even the fireman in my room really thought it was the monitor as well. But I got really lucky that it was discovered in time, and this thing was solved. And I've been in the attic since then a few times. I've never seen anything to concern me. But it is wild to think that something so benign as a doorbell feed could be the thing that gets your house. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on a transformer, and there you go. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. With your new situation, you probably have new electricity in the walls, in that wall, because that wall had to be rebuilt.
Yes,
did you put GFI outlets? Did you put GFI breaker, but the outlet's normal? What did you do for this new tank?
So that particular outlet does not, it does not have a GFI on it. Okay. And it is its own circuit that goes runs back to my box now onto a 20 amp circuit.
Yeah.
The thing is that there, other than lighting, there's really nothing else that of significance that will run the tank upstairs here. Right.
Because everything's in the basement.
Correct. So power heads.
Yeah.
There'll be a few power heads. There'll be the lights, and maybe, I think that's probably it. I can't even think of,
because heaters and stuff would be in the other area on a different circuit.
Yeah, heaters, all the testing devices, obviously the return pump, skimmers, all the other stuff that I have in my life support. It's about 70 feet away. Right. I'd say.
Yeah. What lights are you going to use on the new tank?
I don't know. This is a good question. I've seen so many. That's a great question, actually, to ask Terence. Yeah,
because you can't get Coral Care, and Sky is no more.
Yeah. Well, I've got 4 Coral Care still in my garage. So
you still have some?
Totally cheap. Maybe. But first of all, I need to get a tank. So yeah.
Oh, I thought you had that by now. I thought you have a tank. It's just not running yet.
No.
No.
I still have to decide on that. I mean, the tank size is going to be slightly bigger. Okay. So because of the way I did a remodel, I got rid of one of these faux pillars that was in the house there. Yeah. So my wall got a little bit longer because I got rid of that. So it might go to, somewhere around 9.5-ish feet. It was 8 feet before.
Okay.
I'll probably still stay at 32 inches high, which is the height I like. It allows me still to reach the bottom pretty easily. Pretty easily. I know.
I was going to say, I have 30 and I can't reach the bottoms. You must have long arms.
I got long arms. I can just reach it. In the very back, I can't. Yeah. But again, I had to walk around like you have your little, your little shelf there. Yeah. And then front to back, it was 32 before. I think I might go to 42. Front to back, with the change.
That's hard.
It's
hard. It's a long distance. You almost want to lay a 2x12 across the tank and lay on your stomach to do things, because
yes. So I'm imagining if I have
it's a stretch.
It's not stuff because of the way my aquascape will work and where I'll put things and stuff like that. It won't be that frequent that I'll need to get in the back, because my way of doing, it's not like you where you like to see the front and the back of your tank, right?
Yeah, so I know mine's centered. Yeah.
Right. And so it's not like I can put a wall of rock, but at the same time, all I need to do really in the back is clear detritus out. And I'm one of those people that just takes the biggest power head I have and blasts the entire tank. Across the back, and then put filter socks downstairs, and then everything comes out of the detritus, and I do that once every 3 months, maybe. And it's good. But having that front to back is really nice. So I don't know, maybe I'll use, Planted, if you're listening. If anybody else is listening that wants to, get some good props on a tank and give me a deal. I don't need anything free, but give me a good deal, then certainly I'd consider it. But I expect next year, as long as I get spouse approval, right? You gotta get that spouse approval,
Right.
that it'll come. She really loves having the aquariums too, but there's, there is this little bit of thing hanging over the top of it for sure.
Yeah. So these numbers
Yeah.
on your insight that I'm watching rotate through, these are the numbers on the little aquarium,
No, so
the
I do.
Hello
That's a good
Fresh, whatever it's
question.
called. I always say the wrong name. Hello Reef.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you notice the CO2, it just went by, it's going up because I'm talking into this mic.
Yep.
And so it's up over 1,000 now. This is actually, so in order to do some of our testing, we have a simulator, and the simulator goes and takes a snapshot of anybody who's in the alpha team, their tank. So like your tank, Rich Ross's tank, whomever. This happens to be Rich Ross's tank. And, and that way I can kind of show how it's working, but we do it for testing purposes as well. If I had it go to my Hello Reef, it would be really boring. It'd be
well, I just thought you have these huge apex set up with those little 5-gallon aquarium.
No. And plus I'm now back into the, the real world. I don't work at Neptune anymore. So I don't, get to just go grab something off the shelf, more or less, like I, did before.
Yeah.
So in all my equipment that was upstairs here, tried and everything, it's all toast, it's like, downstairs the stuff's still good, all that equipment, most of it was still good. Just older now.
Did you use the Abyss as your return pump for the 70-foot run?
Yeah, and ironically, I still have water in the sump from almost 3 years ago now.
You should probably pump that out.
Well, I just keep adding water to it.
Wow.
And
so you just recirculate in the sump, just on autopilot.
Yeah. And part of it is this, I'm sure it's psychological. I mean, I just took all of my rock that I had them throw in the backyard and pressure washed it off like 6 months ago. Because I didn't want to deal with it. It was just too much.
Yeah.
So downstairs, that stuff still runs because I just don't want to deal with it. At the time that happened, I was like, I just don't want to deal with it. Just connected the pump, just let it sit and run underneath, turn the skimmer off, turn the other stuff off, and said, I'll deal with it later. Yeah. And now I just go down there and take the garden hose and fill it with water and go, I'll get to this someday.
Oh, so you're circulating with fresh water?
No, it's still got salt water in it, but it's topped off with garden hose water. So
you might as well drain it. What are you doing?
Hey, you heard it here, guys. There's like 50 people here going, oh my God, that's crazy. What are you doing?
It is. It's insane. Yeah.
When you lose your 425-gallon tank, okay, like I did, and have that situation happen, then we can have a discussion about, what steps you take or what things you try to avoid psychologically,
So Chris wants to know when this inside thing is coming out and where can he get it?
Good question. So the open beta, we are right now putting together the open beta units that we're going to have. So what we're going to do is we've got to the last mile with you guys, you alpha guys, right? To where it's really solid, right? And of course, like any product, and Mark has seen, we've had some challenges here and there where we try to get past them, and we've done all of that. We got all of that done and figured out. The last part, that last mile, is the stuff where you need a bigger group of people, right? Just to have that last, like, okay, everything's good to go, right? Before you sell a lot more.
Yeah.
It'll be a couple hundred people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You get 100, 200 people to kind of just see how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so that will happen. I expect that will go, because we're going to sell them. We're going to sell them at a discount. It'll be, I don't know, 20, 30% off of the retail price, right?
Yeah.
That will happen, I'd say within a couple of weeks. That'll go up for sale. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes online to be sold and shipped a week or a week and a half later after we put it up online for sale. Maybe the sale page goes up next week, even possibly. But I'm cautiously optimistic because there's a lot of interest, a lot more interest. I mean, I do this on purpose, so I don't I don't oversell something to myself, right? Yeah. But there's been a lot of interest on it. So for your viewers, I think the best thing is make sure you go out, follow us on all the social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, right? Get those done, because that's where that announcement's going to happen. and maybe they go in an hour, maybe they go in 4 days, maybe they go in 3 weeks. I couldn't tell you.
Would that be facebook.com/avidaqua?
I believe so. It's Avid Aqua US. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I gotta test it.
Okay.
Let me find out, because I was gonna stick in the chat.
But Avid Aqua itself, as one word, is so unique. If you just type that in any search, it's really good. So,
yeah, Avid Aqua works.
Good.
It looks like your company.
Yes. I think it might be our Instagram that's Avid Aqua US, I think.
Okay. Let me check. Let me look. I'll find out.
But yeah, definitely go out, and then don't hesitate, because when they're gone, those are going to be gone. And then you're like, okay, well, when are you going to have the full retail ones? It's going to be somewhat dependent on how the open beta goes. I am, again, pretty optimistic on the open beta. I would expect late December, early January would be when the full shipping product is going out the door. But
late December, early January? Does that mean no Black Friday sale to save me money on your brand new to market product?
Well, I can guarantee you, if it was available for Black Friday, it would not be on sale.
I know. That's I'm joking. I was like, come on, man. You're a brand new company. You should put everything on sale. Why should you eat or have electricity? Just sell it to us for the cheapest common denominator.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's when it's probably gonna be. It's gonna be highly dependent on how the open beta goes itself, with everybody getting these. This is probably the most solid product I've seen that has come through my hands. Right. That I've pushed out the door. The tech on it. Electrical engineering, software engineering, solid, and user experience is amazing.
Yeah.
So. Questions?
Casual reef keeping. This is Kyle. He says his plant controls have purple for deviation alarm, yellow for warning, and then red for critical. So purple would be the starting point for his.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Yeah. That's really good info. Wouldn't have known that otherwise.
Is there a SIM card in this thing that we have to replace like you do with the Apex Brain?
No. No, there is no SIM card. It is its own computer inside.
I'm teasing you.
And it does have those sensors that are in there, and they're calibrated at the factory, and there is no additional calibration that needs to happen after that.
Chris wants to know, I'm sorry this text is just on a terrible spot, but I'm going to shrink it at least a little bit. Can I take this with me out of the house? If I travel, can I bring it with me and not worry about using my phone, or is it Bluetooth only?
So it's not, the Bluetooth is only for the configuration step. When you're changing things around on it, or you're initially setting up your Wi-Fi and whatnot. As far as the network, it's intended to work in your local network. Yeah. If you're really a geek, there are ways that you could make your internal network, available to you externally, right? And make that work. It wouldn't be something we would be telling you how to do. Yeah. If you're one of those kind of people, you already know what I'm talking about. But for the average person, it's meant to be in the same network, which is generally in the same physical space as your Apex is.
Okay. Let's see.
I hate that I can't see all of this, all of the comments.
Sorry. Yeah. That's how they do it.
I know. I'm used to being that guy, right? I guess when I hit this little chat thing, it just shows me. Oh, no, there's the comments.
Oh, nice. Shoot. I thought it only did like the chat between the two people talking.
Between us. Oh, I'm seeing the comments. This is good. Must be a configuration. Oh, there's the one. Okay, the card slot.
Not a lot of questions
talking about their issues.
But if you guys have questions, now's a great time to ask him. Terence said he'll answer anything.
So is yours only going out to Facebook, or is it Facebook?
It's only going to YouTube.
Or how does it work?
To YouTube.
Your stream.
And by the way, when I looked on Instagram, I couldn't tell. I mean, it just said Avid Aqua. It didn't say US on the end that I could tell. Not sure how to find it. I think it's just Avid Aqua on Instagram.
All right. Well, there you go then. I mean, I guess I should know that, right?
Well, your face is on here, so it does seem to be your channel.
No, it certainly is. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you that I'm really glad you guys came out with it. I mean, I like the other things you've made, like the holders and stuff. And there's always a purpose. I mean, in fact, I used a bunch of your frag racks a few months ago. And you've got your little coral carrier that I never bring with me on a trip. Never. I always forget. It's so dumb.
Yeah, the one too, or the mega.
If I was gonna do something, I would get the big lunchbox one.
Yeah, the mega.
Yeah.
Mega.
And okay, so I don't think you answered that. Saltwateraquarium.com, is that the only source to buy these when you're selling? Or are you selling direct to consumer? How is this working?
No. So the open beta will be direct to consumer. Okay. Right. And after that, it'll be sold through all the channel. We sell all the Avid Aqua products, which includes Bulk Reef Supply, saltwateraquarium.com, Top Shelf Aquatics, various other places that can obtain it.
All right. Okay.
Or your local fish store. If they want, they're available through wholesale channels as well. Yeah. So if you're a local fish store, get out there.
My dog put her whole body directly under me, and if I move a toe, she growls at me.
If I had the door open right now, Teddy would be up here on my lap because he can't handle, like, you're talking to somebody else other than me.
Yep. All right, what else do we want to answer today that wasn't discussed?
So, I think we hit most of it. I think the real thing that I try to drive home for people, at least with this new product, is it's not the Apex display module. It's not even the Apex display module part 2. Okay, it is something much greater than that in terms of what it can offer you. Right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the fact that you can also execute feed modes and whatnot right off of the front of there, and turn on and off outlets will be coming here shortly, to where you can turn on and off specific outlets. It's never going to be the tablet solution. I know there are people that are going, I can go out and in fact, I'm the person who created the video years ago that has one of the highest views on it at Neptune Systems, which is how to convert your the Amazon Fire tablet into a display device for your aquarium. Because there wasn't really anything else available, and at the time you could get one of those things for like dirt cheap. For like
it was like $45 or something silly.
Yeah, it was just so cheap, right?
Yeah.
It required you to jump through a bunch of hoops. It required you to it would time out and all kinds of other things. But more importantly, it didn't you couldn't create a separate curated way to look at what's going on in your tank. And it didn't necessarily do something extra for you other than show you your dashboard from your aquarium. And that's fine. There's a point to have that and a purpose to have that on your aquarium.
Yeah.
That's not this. This is, first and foremost akin to, you have a Nest thermostat or an Ecobee thermostat or what have you.
Yeah.
You walk by it. You don't want to have to pull your phone out to know what the temperature is and what it's set to.
Right.
And that's the most simplistic kind of explanation. And then you add to that all of the things that I know that we're already working on and that we have planned to be able to show you and inform you through the insight, as well as through even your mobile device, what's happening in your aquarium and what you might want to do because of something happening on your aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it. And we'll have a lot of other cool stuff, coming out next year. This is not a one-trick pony kind of company kind of thing. We have stuff in the accessories area as well as stuff in the electronics area that we have planned and that already kicking off. So it's really fun. I tell you, it's great. I mean, I'll be at CIPS next week in China.
It's in China, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looking at all these cool things that are happening with aquariums clear across on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's it's exciting. Many times you get to see things before they'll ever come here. Many times you see things that never make it to market. You also see just great displays of especially freshwater stuff, amazing freshwater displays and booths. You have contests. I know. I'm not a freshwater guy either, but let me tell you, when you go see some of these tanks, there's waterfalls happening. It looks like Yosemite. I sat in front of a tank because, again, I agree 100%. I'm not a freshwater tank guy, but when you sit in front of a tank, it's got this beautiful scene, and you can see these what is it? The oxygen bubbles coming off of
the
a
leaves.
leaf.
Yeah.
In exact spacing, just continuing off the tip of a leaf.
That's just AI.
Yeah, it's just AI. Exactly. I'm going to call your tank AI. But yeah, and then they have arowana, like insane. I can't even show it on the screen here.
I know, they're so monstrous. Yeah.
Yeah, monstrous red arowana, and just they'll have 70 people out there grooming a fake poodle, for a grooming contest. Okay, like just crazy stuff. But in our space, yeah, there's lots of interesting things, and it's funny too. They catch on to trends that we have, obviously, and then they try to clone, whatever it is, and so
of course,
you see the Michael Keaton version of a
of Batman.
No, you don't know the Michael Keaton where he does Multiplicities, the movie.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I do remember that now.
Where it's a copy of a copy of a copy, and at first it's really good.
Yeah,
but
it gets worse.
Then you find out that it's so far off from the real thing, and that's what also happens over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
That's fun.
But Avid Aqua is it's going even better than I had hoped, and I really do appreciate all of the people out there like you that welcome me back into kind of the fold.
We knew you were going to do something. We just didn't know what it was going to be. I told you about my April Fool's Day joke that I wanted to do years ago. Do you remember the one where I wanted you to make the magazine?
Yeah.
And I wish I'd done it at the time I had the idea, because it was the perfect time to do it. Now we can't do it because now you've got a business and we don't want to hurt your business. But at the time, it was going to be so funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, So,
yeah.
speaking of magazines, if you guys haven't noticed in your mailboxes yet, the new Coral has arrived. I got my copy. This one's going up on the wall. I flipped through the whole thing today.
What's that subscription cost these days, Mark?
It's still 30. Well, actually, today's November 1st. The price just went up $10. Now it's $49 for the year, y'all. I've told you guys repeatedly, sign up now. If you go to coralmagazine.com to get a subscription, you can. My coupon code will still shave a little tiny bit off, like 5% off, and save you a little bit. But yeah.
So $47.50 gets you a year. So
gets you a year. Gets you 6 issues.
6 issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's funny because I pay more in picture frames for the year than I pay for the magazine subscription. Because I had to order another set of frames to put on the wall, right? And I went to Amazon, it was $60. Like, oh, I bet that's the tariffs. And so I went to look at my order history, and it was $60 the previous time, and it was $60 the previous. I was like, oh, I just keep paying $60 for 6 frames. That's what it is.
Well, if I can, I'm going to help him shill a little bit here, because it's absolutely a great publication. One of the things that old guys like Mark and I think kind of miss a little bit is this tangible thing, right? I'm a tech guy from way back in 1985, right? I've been in tech forever. Okay. So I was like, but getting that thing in your hand and being able to read through articles and see those color photographs. Now, I will say the US photographers so much better than the European ones. Just going to say that. We've got something, except for the Hans, is it the Hans guy or whatever, has some of the close-up photography that he does is really cool. Yeah. But the full tank photography of like full tank shot stuff over in Europe, I'm just gonna say they need to up their game a little bit on that. But as a whole, what a great publication this is, and the information. And then one other thing too that's really cool is that they've got these kind of like travel articles. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe Mark, you can better than I can. Yeah. But these animals that we have, and sometimes freshwater ones too, because I read the Amazonas one too, which I didn't think would be that interesting. The travel part of that, where it's like, hey, we went here, and this animal that you get in your aquarium, it lives over here, and there's photographs, and there's like the experience that they had to go through, like the travel experience they had to go through to go see this thing in the wild. That's interesting content that you just don't get by reading how you take care of a tank. And that's what $8 an issue. Yeah. Again, a basically a Starbucks milkshake.
This is our travel story this issue. And this one was written by Alex Rose. She is not only our associate editor on Coral Magazine, she is now, and I'm sure they've announced it by now, they had to have announced it by now, she is actually in charge of Amazonas. So she wrote this story for us, and it's beautiful. She did a great, great job. So I just want to throw that out.
So like I said, some great photography. The close-up photography, like of the, what was the one I saw that had the eggs in it, and they were hatching something from the eggs, and had those super close-up pictures.
Yeah.
That was spectacular, spectacular content. I love
it. It's really funny. I love the travel stories. Alex loves the travel stories. Our layout team told us, when it comes to running out of space, when the magazine's too full, the first thing we ditch is travel. I'm like, why would you ever ditch travel? Because travel tells you where all the animals come from around the world. And then I was like, what does the reader care about, though? Maybe I love travel and Alex loves travel, but they don't. I think it's great. I mean, I would love more scuba stories myself, but we are a magazine for coral keepers.
Well, you need to have, when you have some of that advertising space left over, you got to put that QR code in there for that survey and say, hey, if you're the managing editor and you got to cut something, you get cut one thing. Here's the list. What's it going to be?
Yeah. What would you pick? Yeah. They're pressing the letter from the editor.
Yeah. It's like, you can only cut one thing.
Yeah.
Here's 6 things. Which is going to be?
Yeah. No, it's a great suggestion.
You really get to understand when, it's like when they do things with people for budgets or what they're going to have. It's like, okay, you're getting $1. Okay. Here's what this costs, how you spending the $1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's really good, but congrats to you guys for keeping that thing going and still making it great. Nancy brought me a stack from my living room the other day. She's like, what am I going to do with these? Want me to throw these out? I'm like, no, put
do
those
they
in
smell
my
like
office.
Smoke?
No, they didn't smell like smoke.
Good.
But yeah, because they're just like so beautiful. And anytime I'll pull one out and read an article even I read before. So enough shilling your stuff.
No,
man.
they are. No, I talk about this on my channel all the time. It's like my second part-time gig, But
right.
These are collectibles. They're not throwaways. Like some magazines, you just toss them. These you save. So I highly recommend them. Well, since Terence just walked away, I'm sure he's coming back, but we don't know what he's going to do. I should at least say I haven't seen any more questions pop up in the chat, so either everyone just went to sleep. Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay. Might be time for new headsets. Those things are falling apart.
No, it's all good. No, they're good. See? Look, this is the one she just brought in.
Nice.
I know Amazon is there. I know.
Yeah.
But
I know.
still.
What are you doing?
There, see?
There you go. That was a great issue. That one about jawfishes is like the most ultimate up to date about everything about jawfishes. Mm-hmm.
So
I have mine right
very
here.
Cool. Dun, dun, dun. And I know Matt is like,
pick a magazine.
Oh yeah,
magazine.
look, you showed the freshwater stuff. Talked about freshwater. Oh, Matt's so happy.
He's always trying to push freshwater on me. The guy's crazy.
I know. So speaking of Matt, so your little animals back there, they're still, I can see them swimming around.
Yeah, the little crocodiles. Here, I'll slide out of the way a little bit.
You still don't know what they are, really?
I'm really close. So there's one fish, which I'm assuming is the oldest fish now. It's got a black marking on the bottom fin, and it's got some yellow on the tail, and there's a blue sheen along the top. All these things are clues. I'm figuring now the 5th, which is in 4 more days, right? That will be a total of 90 days since they were hatched. The first one was hatched. I did mention last week in the stream, Babies Having Babies. These fish made more babies, which blew me away because they're so young. I did not expect that. And so I thought I had 5 more.
They're from Kentucky.
I think the other ones are eating them because they keep disappearing, and then I have 1. I'm like, all right. And, it's because I didn't set up another tank to keep babies, to start again. I just wanted to raise these and see what they become because there's 59 of them. I mean, there's plenty. I don't need more. I don't need another collection. And it's sort of like clownfish, how they lay eggs, every 10 days or whatever that number was. If these guys want to do it again in 75 days and they want to, I could talk about raising those. But for now, I just want to turn these things into full-size adult fish. I'd like to know what they are. And starting to get some clues. I know Felicia already knows what it is. If I get totally stumped, I can just ask her, or I could ask Matt, or I could ask the guy that mailed me the eggs. But for now, I still don't know what I'm looking at. But
well, that's definitely a fun project. I think it's funny.
And I did a post about it. I showed that
the
one
secret
picture of the
Yeah.
little fish. This one here. Let me show you. I don't know if you saw this yet. So I took that picture and posted it online.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that online.
And that picture has gotten so many people riled up at me. I mean, you know, when you look at the comments, because they're saying, you know, because I put saltwater crocodiles in quotations, like, here's one that's just a few minutes old. And people were telling me, crocodiles don't lay eggs. This is ridiculous. And it would never be in water. And what are you doing? And I was like, I keep putting them in quotes for a reason. It's just, I don't know what I'm raising. It's a mystery. And so we're just calling it that. And that's right. It seems like the only way to go viral is to say something wrong. You know, to just blatantly be incorrect about something so everyone corrects you.
I mean, all those things online, somebody all the clickbait stuff that's out there.
You got to be corrected, right? You know? And I don't really like posting that kind of stuff.
Comedian, right? Everybody thinks that they're a comedian. They've got the cleverest line next, you know?
I mean, sometimes they're hilarious. I mean, I get it. But in this one case, I just, you know, I could have just called it mystery fish. You know, just kept saying mystery. But instead, this was just a little more fun to say, saltwater crocs. I mean, you know.
So somebody there, W Mars 4655 said, maybe you said already, but there's direct wholesale or only through Aperture. So right now, we are in the U.S. at least only selling through the major partners that have wholesale channels. And Aperture is one of them. Saltwateraquarium.com has a wholesale channel. I don't know if Top Shelf does or not. Maybe they do. But they sell on our retail side. So I don't know if they have a wholesale side or not. If they do, then they would probably be selling it there. Maybe. Then there's another company called Reef H2O that Mark probably knows that, that sells
Arizona, I think,
wholesale.
right?
Yeah. And they're also very, it's very common for some smaller stores to buy there because when you reach a certain level, I think you get free shipping or something from them. But direct to stores, we haven't done. We may do it next year at some point, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be for small stores. It's going to be only for kind of the regional mega store kind of approach, because it's just too much overhead to have to manage. And, you know, there's not much to gain for us to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Terence, thanks for coming on. Let me jump into my little thing that I do at the end of the show every week. You get to live through it because, you know, you can tell your wife that Mark says I have to do this. Today is Water Test Saturday, and it's really important that you test your water parameters because if you are not, and your water is deteriorating in quality, then your livestock will begin to deteriorate as well. We want the corals and the fish to thrive. We want them to grow and be colorful. And the more attention you give to water quality, the more you're going to have success in this hobby. And I'm going to always remind you to do that on Saturdays. And I'm going to tell you to use your test kits. And if they're expired, buy new ones and use those test kits. Don't just keep using it because there's liquid left in the bottle. They're good for about 12 months from the time you crack open the bottle. If you're using titration, if you're using the packets from like the Hannah testers, then you need to check the expiration dates on those as well and make sure that you're getting accurate information because that's really, really important. We want to be able to showcase our beautiful aquariums and our wonderful livestock with other people. And if you're embarrassed by your tank or your tank's not doing well, odds are you're going to do water testing anyway to figure out what's wrong with it so you can fix it. So just make it part of your routine. Check your water parameters every single week, and you'll know what the numbers are. And if you happen to get lucky enough to get an insight, you can then see a little thing telling you some of the numbers that are happening that day, that minute. But even that device has to be calibrated. You have to make sure that the Trident is telling you the accurate truth. And someone just said, man, I want the insight. Now I got to buy a Trident. I'm like, well, yeah, you would have to do that because this isn't going to show you. I mean, what would you get if you didn't have a Trident? You would then know temperature and pH and ORP.
You got ORP if you have it. You got salinity if you have it. You've got the water level sensors if you have those.
There you go.
You have switch inputs if you've got those. You've got outlet states if you've got certain outlet states that you want to show.
Okay.
All of those things. So there's definitely value. Don't undersell my value here, man.
I didn't even know about these output things. Is that something that's not visible yet that you leaked? Yeah.
Yes.
So no, I mean, it's a cool. I like mine. I'm glad you didn't take it away. When I misunderstood your question, I was like, no, it's really good, and I do use it all the time. And right now, we've been talking now for
2 hours, bud.
2 hours, and I'm at 7:25 in this room. with my dog right here under my feet. So the
I think
two
I'm
mouth
at 1284
breathers.
because I'm talking right into it.
Yeah, see, I don't want to breathe on mine, and now I'm scared to have cheese near it.
See what it goes to.
Joe will know that I'm eating cheese again, which is hilarious. It's so funny. So what show are you going to be on next? You might as well promote your next live stream. Who else are you going to go see? Are you going to go on
There will be a couple of not lives, but a couple of other videos to look out for. So I will be shooting with Rich Ross and the Reef Beef guys tomorrow.
Okay.
To discuss this as well, and
Nice.
then I shot a sit down discussion with Ryan Batchelor from SeriousReefs.com.
Okay.
Where he quizzed me on the insight as well as other things. So those two are there, and I probably will do my own live stream when we officially announce the open beta for the insight.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it right now. And there's plenty of video out there too. If you want to go out and look, if you just search for Avid Aqua or Avid Aqua Insight out there on YouTube, you'll see some cool videos where I'm demonstrating different parts of it and answering questions then.
If you were going to do a podcast like Triggerfish is asking here, then where would that be on Facebook? Would that be on YouTube? What's the plan?
So I'm not doing podcasts, so to speak, but I'll do a live stream, and we will be streaming it on both the Facebook channel and the YouTube channel, and quite possibly also the Instagram channel. I like to, you call it, multicast when I do any of these. So because different people like different platforms.
I know they like their one section of the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
For sure.
Okay, so guys, go to avidaqua.com. Make sure that it's a bookmark so you know where to look at all the products they sell, and as they drop news on their social media about these different devices, like getting involved in Insight, so you can play with it as well and get involved. I mean, I just picture a lot of people saying, "Yeah, sign me up," which is great. I mean, I like that there's a good interest, and it is a solid product. I haven't had any reason to.
Thank you.
I've liked it from the moment I connected. I was like, oh my God. And ever since, I just enjoy it. If I'm going to make a suggestion, I don't know if it's even possible. Is there some way that the screen could put something on the screen if it went through a power outage? Like the power goes out and then the power comes back and it comes back to life. Could it at least leave a thing on my screen to say, I lost power?
Well, I think there is. I'd have to ask Joe, but I think there possibly is. Yeah.
Because obviously it's going to lose juice and then it can't track anything. But then when it reconnects, but maybe there's a way, not just some kind of system reboot, but literally there was a physical manifestation or something you can learn from the Apex that tracks it. It'd be kind of nice to know at 3 a.m. Then you're like, oh, let me go check my logs, see if anything else happened to my tank last night. That kind of
Well, I'm sure Joe is either listening or he's going to watch his back. So, Joe, that one's for you. Okay. I don't have a solid answer, but that's why we like to have the feedback. That's why we do the alpha. That's why we do the open beta.
Yeah.
And really try to make a product that's going to be, useful for the largest group of people, not just a small set of the most nerdies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, this will be good for a lot of people. I mean, if you just own an Apex, it's already a good bonus to have, and I like that it's portable. You can have it in the kitchen, you can have it by the tank, you can have it in your office, you can have it by the bed. Wherever you prefer to have the numbers, it's nice for, like you said, have more than one. Or you can have a couple of them, so that Terence can feed his kids.
Yeah, I had to say it.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Terence, thank you again. I really enjoyed our conversation. It was fun, and I'll be back again next week. Bye, guys.